Hey guys, welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to talk about why most people simply shouldn't go to college. At least when it comes to the bachelor's degree level. So I don't want to confuse anyone with my opinion. I just want to remind you guys that it's just my own view. You don't have to take this as solid advice for everyone. This is just simply me saying my opinion. So let's get into the video. College requires a certain set of cognitive and psychological strengths that most people just simply don't possess or are just unwilling to develop. This has been true historically, but it's only recently in the past few decades that our society has been pushing the idea and pushing people into going to college. And all of that is just causing a lot of problems. One of them being the student loan debt crisis that we're currently in. Let's start to talk about that first of all. As of 2023, the total amount of student loans owed is just over $1.77 trillion. That's trillion with a T. About 92% of those loans are federal loans, and the remaining 8% are private loans. The number of borrowers is around 44 million Americans, which is just a lot of people. About 66% of those borrowers had co-signers. That means somebody who was also taking on the responsibility of that loan, even though that person will not be using that loan to benefit themselves by getting an education. So certainly a lot of responsibility. This is clearly a massive problem, and a lot of politicians, whether they be Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, or many others, have proposed various legislation that have to do with forgiving that debt. But it's not as easy as so many people, including those politicians, seem to think. In order for such debts to be completely wiped out and completely cleared, the tax rate would have to skyrocket and increase tremendously. And this will mainly hit and put a burden on middle and lower class people in America. Not the rich, as so many politicians seem to promise you. The reason why that is, it's because the rich are always going to find a way to avoid paying more taxes, but the middle and lower class people will just have to do it anyways and pay the taxes because they just simply have no say in the matter unless they want the government to go after them. However, the debt is not the only issue that I'm concerned about. In order to succeed at college, you gotta have the cognitive faculties necessary in order for you to achieve success, academic success. College is a place where a huge emphasis is put on rigor, academic rigor. And most people just simply don't have the willingness, the patience, or even the natural ability to go through such an important training in academic rigor. This isn't me just taking a cheap shot at others and calling them less than. Rather, it's just me pointing out that there are other ways where other people can succeed and use their talents in areas where they're more likely to shine. And those would be wasted if they were forced to go to college. As far as intellectual abilities are concerned, in my opinion, one should be at least in the top 15th or 20th percentile intellectually in order for them to be able to compete properly in college. And this proportion increases even more as one goes to more prestigious and hence more demanding universities, like the Ivy Leagues, for example. Putting an average person with an IQ of 85 to 100 in a college setting is really putting them in a disadvantage, and it's setting them up for failure. And this will result in them having ultimately lower self-esteem, and a sense of inferiority. All things that are not deserving. Maybe this person would do much better in a technical trade, a certificate program, or just a simple associate's degree program where they can find just enough intellectual rigor to stimulate them, but not too much where they feel they're just completely out of their depth. Now, is it possible to succeed in college if you're an average or below average person when it comes to intelligence? Of course, because intelligence is not the only thing that you need in order to succeed in college, but also in life in general. However, when it comes to academics, it has been proven that IQ and intelligence play a huge role when it comes to success. And college taps into that more than, say, like being a laborer in a blue-collar job would. Again, there's nothing wrong with working a blue-collar job because those jobs are also essential to our economy. And we need more people who get into trades and not just go to college to get a degree that ultimately they will never use and it will never help them in any way. Even though I and many college grads would be more intelligent than many blue-collar workers, I still admire and respect them for their abilities to do things I can't do. In other words, if there is a similar proficiency test for their jobs that I had to take, I would probably be the one that would fail, and they would be the ones who would shine. And so I would be putting myself in a disadvantage if I was to be competing in an environment where they would be better at. We need more people to go into trades, as I mentioned earlier, and do these jobs because they really play a huge part in the way our economy functions. And the student loan crisis is not helping us in any way. All it's doing is devaluing the value of a college degree because our society is making so many people go into college forcefully and unnecessarily. In fact, one study has shown that the average IQ of college students today has fallen from 119 in 1939 to merely 102 in 2022. That is a huge drop. And all this has resulted in is the dumbing down of the curriculum in order to accommodate more people who are simply just unsuited and uninterested in being in a college environment. And a lot of the blame really just also goes to the universities as well. You see, colleges are not just institutions of higher learning and that's it anymore, but they're also business ventures and enterprises where their goal is ultimately to get more money and to benefit financially, whether it's from the federal government or from private investors such as college students. It's one reason why there are so many useless positions in college right now, particularly in the administration aspect. So many administrators are getting hefty salary increases while professors and other workers are barely scraping by. For example, according to one report, the average salary of a college administrator right now is around $125,000, while the average salary for a professor is around $62,000. If this isn't a robbery or at least a scam, then I don't know what is. So, to conclude, I don't think everyone should go to college. In fact, most people shouldn't go. Instead, what they need to do is, as I mentioned earlier, enroll in a trade program, a certificate program, or an associate's degree program, or just completely skip college and start working immediately. This is going to help more people to play into their strengths, not into their weaknesses, and contribute to a diverse and multifaceted economy instead of just making everyone fit into a mold that's ultimately unrealistic and unsustainable. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, comment, share, and ultimately to subscribe for more videos like this. I'm posting more often lately, so it should be good. I hope this was helpful to you, and I'll see you in the next video.